Welcome back, everyone, to Occultists Anonymous. Thank you very much for joining us in our little corner of geekdom on the internet. Thank you. Hang on. Reset. Right. We are, as always, sponsored by Roll20 and viewers like you. Namely, as I refresh.
Oh, man.
Ryan, Thomas, Noba, Perry, Michael, Brandon, Cat Feathers, Josh, Alexander, Puppeteer, Sinna, Emil, Moku, Running Level 4 Diagnostic, Doc the Doomed, Other Michael, The Arcane, Bernie, Alan Michael, Al, Yusuf Sama, Stay Lucky. You're just trying to make me say that phrase. Julian, Delore, Jenny, Blood Angel, Jack, Zoltan, Funzo Suru Ali, Milo V3, Vortex, Adele, Crazy Man 1772, George, Woodfoot, Neomagus, Chris, Shexara, Occultism, Anomalies, Toast, Daniel, Thomas, Taryn, Angfalleth, Parker, and Riafio. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your support.
Thanks, guys.
So we just finished a few days ago, our session 0, where we talked about our characters and doing the character generation. One thing that we didn't get to that I wanted to do was lines and veils, but also aspirations. So we want to talk about what our limits are, what kind of things we want to fade to black on, but also what kind of things you want to see from the adventure moving forward. So who wants to start? And just in case anyone's not up to date, the lines and veils are like a safety tool to make sure everybody's comfortable and looked after at the table. So if there's subjects that matters that somebody doesn't want to touch on at all, that's behind. That's a line we don't ever cross. If there's things that we want to fade to black on, that's behind a veil, so we don't get into any kind of details on that. But I'm adding in that I want to know what sort of things they want to see, scenes they want to see, or ideas they want to explore in the game moving forward. So who would like to start?
So for me, just because I am playing a medical professional, but also have a lot of issues with depictions of medical things, I'd like to keep that as more of a veil. I don't want to have to either describe or hear described sort of in-depth surgery talk or sort of gruesome depictions of injuries. And then, especially with it being sort of the kind of campy original series vibes that we all talked about, like there can be danger and there can be intrigue and excitement and stuff, but I think I'm hoping for at least more of a generally positive, bright tone to the game overall. I think am I off base with that? I mean, that's totally debatable and stuff like that, but that's generally how I was understanding
I don't think we're getting grimdark in here.
Are you okay if we dip into the darkness as long as we climb back out later?
Yeah, totally.
So, bad things can happen, but we can resolve them and undo them and correct them. That's okay?
Right.
Okay.
It kind of goes into like what you've said previously in Lines and Veils of like, especially playing someone that is like dedicated to helping and saving people, like being capable, having it be a possibility that is always, or having that always be possible.
Yes.
Not having that sort of hopelessness, right?
So having said that, I will say that is something I fully intend to do. But we may have a situation as the story is developed, because I kind of have some vague plans where it may not seem like it at the moment.
That's fine.
So I would ask you to trust me that there will be opportunities to fix whatever seems horribly messed up at the time.
Right.
And
I can maybe extrapolate some from this little note you've passed me and stuff like that. Okay. Like, it seems like there's some stuff going on that seems bad but can get better. So that's and this is not like, this is very much a veil, right? Like, this is something I'm hoping for out of the game. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a hard, like, I want perfectly wrapped up sitcom perfection in 23 minutes every time, right? That's not what I'm saying. So, and then as far as aspirations of my character or for my character
of Chris,
what's up?
Chris's aspirations, things that Chris would like to see.
Okay. Yeah. Seems fairly obvious to me, but like things that go along with focuses that we have. So like for me, like being able to do that science and that medicine of like, hey, here's this new plant on this new world that we just touched down on, being able to dive into that, or here's this mysterious disease that suddenly popped up.
Okay.
How can I use my research to my background to play into that?
Cool.
And it seems
so
like
you're looking for long-term benefits out of the work that you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Make the galaxy a better place, kind of thing.
Right.
Cool. Okay. I'm on board with that. Who would like to go next? And just for the record, if anyone just wants to communicate their lines and veils to me privately, that would be absolutely fine as well. Always an option at your tables as well, internet. But some people may not be comfortable talking about their lines and veils in a shared forum, but they can. The DM needs to know so that they can head that kind of stuff off if it does happen. So
I can go next. Chris hit on a lot of mine. Like, I would like to keep violence to Star Trek levels, like what you'd see.
Yes.
Like, yeah, we can have fights and things. I don't want it to get like bloody and gruesome.
No problem.
As far as things I would like to see, I really like planetary away missions types things. Those are always my favorite parts of any episode. Like, the spaceships and the space things are nice, but like exploring and finding new things and finding new people and
boots
alien
on the ground,
mysteries,
footprints on a planet. Yeah.
You don't want a bottle episode?
Even if all of the planets are Southern California.
Right.
There's a lot going out in Southern California. Thank you very much.
Basically every planet Deep Space Nine went to was the exact same landscape.
Oh, yeah.
Like, y'all didn't have that much of a budget, did you?
Yeah, no problem.
Definitely a sound studio.
Okay. Ralph or Drew, if you guys want to add anything or talk about your aspirations?
Lines and veils wise, I mean, this is Star Trek. I don't expect to get into any of the lines and veils that like would normally concern me. The ship probably doesn't have kids that I'm wanting
Definitely
to protect.
No
there might be kids on planet, I guess, but I don't think we're getting into any of that. And just to keep things short, I've talked about any of my prior concerns in other shows. I don't think we're touching them here at all. Aspiration wise, I want to get into at least one fight with Ralph. It might be one of those, Captain, can I see you in your ready room? But otherwise, I'm playing my character here to defend the ship, defend the crew, and then, that is, for me, that is the Star Trek thing, which, depending on which show you're watching, you get more or less of. But yeah, I'm interested in that, and that's why I made my, I don't care what planet we're going to or what spaceship,
Is your priority sort of ship crew mission or ship mission crew or?
Yeah, probably, crew, mission, ship. Like, I don't care about the ship itself. Though if we get into ship combat, I will obviously care about the ship. But for me, it's the crew dynamic, and especially I'm the security guy. I'm the guy who shows up with a bunch of red shirts while the science officers are doing stuff, and I'm blasting whatever weird monster is coming after them. I will be the party's tank if necessary. But that's the thing I'm looking for. It is the interaction between my character and the other characters.
Okay.
I do want the chance to fight. Like, I have built a punch scientist, so I want to do it.
Sure.
I'm so proud of you.
and
pretty good.
Forgive me if I'm stepping on line, but Ash definitely has a type. The adventure librarian is sort of her go-to.
Yeah.
And she's managed to build one again. Ralph.
I think adventure librarian will be perfect for the campaign from the setting in Star Trek. So, as it has been in all the other stuff we've done so far. So I specifically want to acknowledge the context in which so much of the Star Trek fandom finds itself today, and the fact that we all have varying identities and we have a different perspective on performance and understanding of identity than the people who created Star Trek. And so, considering it's in the future, and then there are really explicitly espoused values in and out of the fiction about integration, about understanding, about appreciation for humanity and human worth, I would like to see us portray the original series in the light it was intended to be. So I want to, recognize that people are always limited by their temporal and cultural context. Mm-hmm. And so Gene Roddenberry wanted this, hey, it's the future and we all get along, right? But it ended up in some ways being sexist and jingoistic. And so I want to give, Gene and others benefit of the doubt that, hey, it can be represented slightly differently. So I trust all of you, and I really look forward to us having a good crew and a good story where we're portraying Star Trek in the light that I think a lot of fans really want to see.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we're nearly 50 years since the original series.
Yeah, right? Exactly right.
Like late 60s, right? Is that right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was starting to do the math. I was like, yeah, shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
All the pushing of social boundaries that they did at that time, which was significant, there still were some hard limits that they weren't able to, just because of the nature of broadcast television.
Exactly. Yeah, and so it's easy for us. It's easy for us to look back and go, oh, well, that's kind of yikes, or Kirk is
yeah, exactly,
yike here and there, but looking at it with a
in their context,
right, in their context, and sort of taking like Ralph said, like portraying it with as intended, maybe not as expressed, right.
Yeah.
So, and I think we're all, I think we all strive to do that in all of our games, is to sort of promote sort of, things that, Star Trek would be proud of. So,
yeah, that's true.
So I think we do good at that in our sort of every game. So I think we'll be good at that, but expressly saying you want to do that is good.
Thank you.
Hey, Craig.
Yeah.
What do you want to see from this game?
Yeah. What do you want to see us do?
I want to see. I want to see some action. I want to see some thinking. I want to see some deep dives into science. I want to build something of a sandbox and have you guys explore the space. I would like to see some RP.
Literally.
I want to see interaction between you guys. Is kind of because I love that. I'm all about the story.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And I don't think we have any conflicts between lines and veils amongst any of us. We're all pretty copacetic that way. So I think it's all going to be good. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Oh, it's going to be good.
I want to press the red alert button already.
Is it
wait for somebody to say it, and then we have some special effects prepared in case it comes up.
Do the alert buttons on the screen actually do something?
The screen actually does something, yeah.
Oh my.
So let's get started, shall we?
Let's do it. Do we need any orientation to the character sheet? You want to do it in the course of the adventure?
Say that one more time.
Sorry. Do we need any immediate orientation to the character sheet in the dice roller, or do you want to do it?
I was planning on doing a warm-up of those muscles as we go through the little sample adventure.
Thank you.
So for the audience, I'm actually going through the rule book. Chapter 12 in the Star Trek Adventures book has a little adventure called The Rescue at Xerxes 4. Oh, so awesome. I thought it would be useful for the audience if we actually played through that. So if you wanted to, you could follow along in the book and see how it looks like in action.
I messed something up. I'm missing some attributes. So your total should add up to 56. I only have 53.
Okay, so stick 3 more in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what they're supposed to go on.
Okay, so where was I? I got totally derailed. Okay, so we're starting out at Stardate 8027.4, which is somewhere around the Wrath of Khan era. The Stardates aren't necessarily contiguous. There's some jumps and some gaps and skips and things like that. But it's somewhere around the Wrath of Khan era in the Star Trek universe.
And in sort of out of character timeline, when is this?
This is during the original series. It would be after the original series, a little bit after the original series.
2000, 3000.
Yeah, 20...
2020
or 22
2250 or something like that.
Yeah, something about that.
It's in the middle of the 23rd century.
Yep. So your I can look it up here. So your ship was first created in the 2274, and we've gone through one upgrade cycle, so it's like 5 years after that, so 2279-ish.
Cool.
But I can get you guys an exact number if we need it later.
I was just sort of... Yeah.
So the USS Curie NCC 2203 is a Miranda-class ship. Now, you guys, this for anyone who's not a veteran officer, this will be your first posting as a senior hand on board ship. So this is your first posting as a department head. And in the Star Trek lore, the original Constitution class, the Enterprise and the Constitution and the 5 big cruisers that were sent out on a 5-year exploration mission to just figure out what the hell was going on out in the universe.
That's right.
And it was a 5-year deployment, and they went out and discovered all kinds of things and had all sorts of adventures. And it was incredibly successful. Starfleet learned a lot about the world out there, made a lot of contacts, discovered a whole bunch of science. So this is sort of a phase 2. The Curie has been assigned a 3-year exploration mission. You're basically going to the edge of known Federation space and straight on till sunrise.
Keep on going, yeah.
Yeah, for a 3-year deployment to just expand the Federation's knowledge of the universe. So for that reason, you guys have been assigned a steely-eyed greyhound of a ship, very durable, very sturdy. She's quick and she's smart, and she's got some of the best sensors and comm gear available in Starfleet at this period in time. She's meant to be running long distances and has the endurance to carry you for a 3-year mission. And you've got the crew and the support and all that stuff. So that you guys, as a science ship going out on a science mission for an extended deployment in deep space, all on your own, it's exciting. This is like what the pinnacle of Starfleet officers. This is what it's all about.
Yes.
For a large swath of the Starfleet. However, when you guys arrive at Earth Spacedock, there was a bit of a surprise. So the Curie was not actually there, despite the fact that you were ordered to report to the Curie to accept your post. Instead, you meet your new captain, who, instead of having the USS Curie, has a Constellation-class long-range shuttle. Apparently, at the last minute, the Curie was assigned some last-minute comm upgrades and was sent under command of a temporary captain to Andoria. So you're going to be boarding a shuttle with your captain and taking an extended, fairly confined trip from Earth to Andoria to assume your new positions. It is during this trip that you guys received a distress call. Let me get my notes. As you guys are traveling, you received a distress call from a science station on the planet Xerxes 4. And of course, being Starfleet officers, you of course did the appropriate thing and diverted your course to investigate to see if you could lend a hand. When you arrived in system, you found that there was a large ion storm moving through the entire system. And that was what was threatening the scientists on the station. So Xerxes 4 is an uninhabited Class M planet containing no sentient life except for a Federation science team. The distress signal offered no information except that the science team stationed there was in danger. So you don't really know what you were getting into. As you guide your shuttle towards the planet's surface, you're caught in a violent ion storm that knocks out navigation and other systems.
Oh, no.
So with systems failing and the planet's surface rising quickly towards you, the situation is grim. And that's where the camera opens. You guys are in the shuttle, doing the thing.
Wait, hang on. Can we do this?
Doing the thing.
All right, systems are failing. The ship isn't quite in free fall, but they definitely have a lot of issues. And you guys need to make it to the ground safely. So at this point, you're not in a position to help anyone. In fact, you kind of need help.
That's a quick out of character question.
Sure.
Not trying to derail the role play. What are our characters' pronouns?
Very good
question.
He, him for me.
Cool.
She for me.
Great.
Nurjad is probably they, them, but we'll accept he, him.
Irelor is he, him.
Cool. So the Ironstorm has knocked out navigation on other systems, and you're plummeting towards the planet. So we're going to need somebody who's going to be at the helm and somebody who's going to be at the ops station, because there's 2 stations in the shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever's got the highest con and the highest engineering should probably fill those 2 roles.
Yeah.
About the engineering thing.
I've got 3 engineering.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah, because she's multidisciplinary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so to land the shuttle correctly or safely, this is going to be a daring or control plus con with a difficulty of 2. The character ops, you can attempt to assist this role by using control and engineering, or if you have some other reason to substitute other skills, to keep the systems working a little bit longer, or you might try reason and science to locate a best landing position. You've got a few different offerings, so you can pitch me whatever you like. But the first step is to survive landing on the planet. So let's roll some dice.
Greg, can Irelor make a rally roll to support them?
A rally roll.
The rally, the
Sure.
option to roll presence.
Yeah, you're not actually at a station, so yeah, that'd be fine.
Great. So standing behind the ops and con, he says to his 2 senior staff, "Land this shuttle so we can finish our mission." And I'm gonna roll presence plus command with my focus of. I figure there's a few of them. Unexpected challenges, team dynamics.
Yeah, this all of it hits, so go ahead and click on the focus for your die roll.
All right, cool. And this is, I think, task 0. So then you roll by pressing the Starfleet insignia button.
That's right.
Okay, cool. Great.
No successes.
Huh, that's too bad.
Okay.
I think does that include that it is? I can't choose 0 apparently. So I think I marked it as difficulty 1. Anyway, please continue.
Okay. So let's get a con roll from whoever's at the con and whoever is going to be assisting if you wish to assist.
Yes, I was going to assist with science and reason to try to find like a safe way down.
Sure. That's
I do have a specialization in geology. So I was going to try to find like a good landing spot.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Sort of topographical.
Please do not park us in the sinking sand.
The mountain.
Yeah, not the granite shield. Let's go for the swamp. Yeah.
Let's see, how do I go? Click reason, click science.
And then the task roll to the right has a
I see. Yeah.
emblem.
It's got a 2 highlighted beside it. What's that mean?
Ordinarily, you're rolling 2 dice unless you buy momentum or spend momentum or give me threat
That's right.
Okay.
to get more.
And then
Does the focus help
What's a focus?
the geology?
Yes,
That lowers my
makes it
crit
that increases your crit range. Yes.
right. Okay.
to 5?
If you're using science.
Yeah, okay.
So if you're over 5 or lower, you get a crit. So 2 successes on the assist roll.
2, 1?
Yeah, that just means 2 successes.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so now we'll do the con roll. Difficulty is 2.
And you said control and con?
Control and con, unless you have, or daring and con.
No, control's good. I have a focus in small craft.
Absolutely, this would apply.
And Ash's successes add into Drew's? In
Add
what
dice.
way?
Because she's
Dice.
assisting. Because she's assisting, he needs to get at least one success.
And that will give her successes on top of mine, as long as I
correct.
get.
Okay. All right.
Right.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
How do you see what you rolled?
If you hover over the dice results themselves, so the 2 1s,
It's a
you're
lot
going to
of...
get all that spam of text, but in the bottom left corner of it, you will see a 13 and a 10 for your 2 rolls. And then in mine, there is a 16 and a 9. It'll come after the equal sign. Yeah, it's buried in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a
Okay.
binary representation per dice of
Correct.
what has happened.
So
Okay.
3 successes then, yeah?
So total 3 successes. The difficulty was 2, so you guys earn a 1 momentum.
Nice.
Excellent.
Check.
I'll put that over on the sheet there, so you have 1 momentum stored up.
Cool.
And again, that's a group pool that you guys can drop on. So you guys land successfully. It's a bit of a rough ride on the way down, but your helmsman handles it really well. And you guys manage to settle the ship down. There's definitely some damage to some of the systems on board the ship, but you manage to keep everything mostly intact. So now that you guys are on the ground, there's crashing around you as the ion storm is slowly taking over the rest of the planet. And as you exit the damaged shuttle to have a look around your surroundings, you hear some strange grunts and shrieks. And as you look, you see a group of strange creatures. They're bipedal, they look humanoid, and they emerge out of the terrain around you. Some of them are carrying clubs, some of them are throwing rocks, but you see one of them is holding a phaser. Doesn't appear to know what to do with it yet, but he's just sort of waving it at you as they approach.
What is the terrain?
So the terrain is like scrub brush and some rocky.
Southern California, got it.
So Southern California. A little greener than SoCal.
Sure. Okay.
So like there's grass so it's more like New Zealand, I guess.
Okay.
Right. So grass covered stuff, but there's rocks sticking up and that kind of thing. So this is going to be our first combat.
All right.
Do we didn't go over equipment, did we?
So everybody is issued with a Type 1 phaser, unless your character sheet specifies that you have a Type 2 phaser.
Thank you.
Right. So the Type 1 phaser is just a little handheld clicker. Right. The Type 2 phaser is the phaser pistol that we see, the iconic shot. And then there's the Type 3 phaser, which is the phaser rifle. Exactly. Oh, I meant to show off this earlier. That says
Excellent.
Starfleet Academy.
Awesome.
One of my favorite shirts.
In case you guys missed it, we're a bunch of nerds.
I pull out my lightsaber.
Right. Yeah, we definitely skew to the nerdy side of things.
Totally.
Right. So the situation is that the runabout is damaged and cannot be used offensively or defensively, except as cover. You can't run back inside and seal the hatch, but you can run around the ship and use it as hard cover.
All right.
All right. So the way combat works is, generally speaking, you guys will be able to go first unless I have a reason to interrupt that or spend threat to take initiative from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll alternate back and forth. For ranged attacks, it's just sort of what you would expect. However, for melee attacks, they're always a contested roll, and whoever wins is the one that does damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who would like to go first?
I'd like
From
to
you
go
guys.
first. Unless, wait a minute, the security officer. Let's see. Drew, what? Didn't you have a talent?
I have a
Jumping
talent,
into
but it
combat?
will not apply. Well, I guess it might. If I succeed at a task during combat, I can spend determination and have somebody have some assistance from me.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's-
then,
That's true.
It is
Yeah, and
unlikely
I have-
that Victor is the first one tacked. It's the
I have
first one to fire a shot.
tactics. So if I assist you when you're fighting, you get an extra momentum if you succeed.
that's right. And let's pull up Pfizer.
Also, is Ralph a little quiet to everybody else?
A little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh, speak up. Let's
That's
see.
better.
Where do I find the stats
Cool.
on this phaser?
It is literally, it has 8. Do you have a type 2 or a type 1?
A 1.
Oh, then
2s are for commanders and security officers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, generally you get a type 1 phaser unless your character sheet specifically tells you a type 2. So a type 1 phaser, I have it here somewhere.
I'm looking at these bookmarks trying to find equipment, and it's weapons. I found it.
There you go. Okay. So I think it's 2 damage or 3 damage, or for the challenge dice, and I believe it has the charge effect.
I believe all the phasers have the charge effect. Or charge quality, excuse me.
Right. So who's going to go first? That was
So
going to be
I'll go
Drew?
first to make a plan, if that's okay.
Sure.
And rally the troops. I think I'm going to roll correctly this time. So, once again, Irilor, Captain Irilor, jumps out and says, phasers to stun.
Oh, if I could interject here. The standard, the standard for the game is that phasers are always set to stun.
Oh, okay, cool. So
if you wish to change that, that is an escalation, which will award you threat.
Fantastic. Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So I just said something unnecessary. Great.
No, it's totally fine for the RP purposes. I was just setting the stage for.
But it's a good nobody panic kind of comment.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so go ahead and
subdue the troglodytes. Okay, so I'm going to roll presence plus command, make a rally.
Go for
it. Cool.
Ralph just sent us straight into 1960s Jingo territory with that line.
2 successes.
2 successes.
All right. So
2.
Unless there's some reason you guys want to, or ability to keep the initiative, that'll be their go next. But the rally gives people what?
So you roll it against difficulty 0, and it generates momentum. Either you use straight away or save for the group.
Okay, so we have 2.
I'm going to generate. Yes, exactly. So I'm just going to put 2 momentum in the pool right now.
For sure.
In case, for example, Nurjad wants to use momentum to fire twice, or want to spend 1 to keep the initiative. Oh, actually, I'll use 1 to keep the initiative.
To keep the initiative. So then you guys get to act again.
Cool. And then, just pass it to Nurjad or whoever else. I think because it's we group choose, right? It is. Great. All right. That sounds good.
And can I assist him on
that would be, if I remember correctly, you would go and you assist.
Yeah.
It is not
like a setup action kind of thing.
Right.
Right, but that means you would take that slot in the initiative then.
Okay.
Which is fine.
No, you can go ahead then.
Okay. In that case.
But this is a negotiation, so you guys decide who goes next. So
right.
No, like mine just gives us more momentum, which we have 2. So.
Yep. Which, hey, Craig, because I'm totally up on what momentum does, but for our audience.
Sure. So momentum can be used to buy additional dice if you need to succeed a difficult task or overcome an obstacle. It can be used to set up an advantage. And there's a few other situational uses for it as well that will come up during play. But the most common use for momentum is to buy additional dice to make difficult rolls. But in this combat situation, you can use it to retain the initiative so that more people can go before you have to hand things over to your attackers, that kind of stuff. You can also use momentum to bypass resistance. Right, so 1 momentum will bypass up to 2 resistance on a target. So if they're armored or they have natural resistance to something, you can use momentum to reduce that for that 1 action that you're taking.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm feeling pretty good with my my standard 2 dice. For shooting, I'm trying to remember. I know it's security.
Control and security for shooting.
Control. Okay. Perfect.
Melee
Things
attacks
I will not be doing.
Melee attacks would be daring and security.
Now, can you not do fitness?
No. Melee attacks are daring.
Okay. Cool.
I think fitness is athletic stuff.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Fitness is, as far as I understood, more analogous to Constitution.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good point.
Cool. So I am rolling my 16, or rather against a 16. I believe my focus of hand phasers
Absolutely
applies
100%.
And I will leave the momentum where it is. And complication range has not changed. I'm rolling just a standard 2 dice.
2
2
successes.
successes.
Only needed one, so that gets you a momentum. I'll put that over there for you.
Okay. And then
now you roll effect dice.
okay, and that is the security plus weapon damage.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So 1, 2,
Ooh,
3,
geez.
4, 5, 6. Something looks a little odd there.
That's a lot.
6 effects. Okay. Yeah, something looks a little odd.
Did you roll more?
Did you roll the effect or did you roll it at the weapon?
I rolled it at the weapon where it says security plus weapon damage.
Okay. Because that's a lot of dice. All right, I'll have to look it up. Regardless, that is certainly more than enough to take care of this guy.
Yeah.
So of the 4 vaguely humanoid creatures that are attacking you, one of them immediately collapses.
Okay. Stunned.
Okay. Stunned. Yep. One of them throws a rock.
Okay.
Which should be control and security. They are not great.
Oh.
1 success. And they're targeting Ash.
Can I do anything to try to avoid it?
I don't.
Can I
think
duck?
so.
Roll fitness to dodge.
I'm a little rusty on the rules, actually. I don't think for range attacks that you can do anything to dodge them. I'm sure people will tell me if I'm wrong.
Do we have hit points?
Yes, that is
Yes,
stress.
So on your character sheet, you have stress. So Ash, you can mark off 1 stress, please, as a rock comes in and kind of hits you on the shoulder. And it's back to you guys.
I would like, kind of at the end of my turn, to use the follow my lead.
Sure.
And spend my point of determination to basically assist Ash in the process.
Okay.
So once per scene, when I succeed, I can spend determination. If I do, choose a single ally, Ash in this particular case. Next task that the ally attempts counts as having assistance from me using my presence plus command, which I will now roll.
All right. I'll mark off that determination.
2 successes.
Okay. I am just going to take my phaser and shoot at probably the one who threw a rock at me.
All right. Control security.
Control, security. I don't have any specialization. This is task roll.
It's a task roll.
2 successes.
2 successes plus 2 successes is 4. You only need 1, so we'll add 3 momentum.
3 momentum.
You guys are just generating momentum like crazy.
Gotta have it.
Okay.
And now you're full up on momentum.
Oh, we're maxed out.
Maxed out now.
Okay.
So any more momentum you guys generate has to be spent immediately.
All right, excellent.
Now, unless you wanted to spend any of that momentum immediately, Ash, because you always have that option as well.
Can it?
I could take a turn.
Oh yeah, I go ahead and spend 1 to let the next person still go, right? Okay,
So,
but now I roll my damage.
Yep.
Security plus weapon damage.
So that's 3 damage
I got
and
3
effects. Can somebody check up the charge just to make sure?
Charge. You have to take an action to charge it, which I did not do.
Okay. All right. So that's
You have to
3 on
prepare
effect.
minor action before attacking.
Right.
You can then add a effect, but
Okay. All right. So you wing one of the troglodytes, for lack of a better term, and it slows him down. He's a little bit shaken. and we were retaining the initiative. So who would like to go next? I think that's only.
I think Victor's gonna. Sort of. Everyone seems to be handling the violence of the situation. Mm-hmm. I have some sort of small techno gadget of a scanner or something like that.
You have, as a medical officer, you would have a tricorder, which is sort of an all-purpose scanner.
Sure. I would like to try to analyze if we have any records on what these things are.
Sure.
And try and figure out what exactly we're looking at here.
Okay. You can give me a reason and science roll, and then you can make a case for something else.
And science sounds good to me. Mm-hmm. I am going to spend a momentum for my studious talent. Mm-hmm. So I will be able to ask a question regardless.
Yes.
Yes. And then I don't... if I'm obtaining information, how many... Is it like a question per success or something? Or... Oh, no.
Well, you'll earn momentum, and you can use that to ask additional questions if you wish.
Well, this says whenever you spend one or more momentum to obtain information, you may ask one additional question.
Yeah.
Ooh, cool.
In total, not per momentum. So I'm curious what the baseline of obtain information is.
Obtain information is one question.
Okay.
But if you get more than one success, depending on the difficulty, you may get more momentum out of that roll, which allows you to ask additional questions if you choose to spend that momentum that way. So you are scoring one now.
So baseline, if I didn't have this talent, I'd be able to ask one question, but could potentially have more momentum, which I could spend to ask more. My talent lets me have a baseline of 2 questions.
Right.
Okay. Or one, even if I fail, I think is basically where. Okay, cool. All right, so reason and science. Don't know that my focuses apply here. Maybe composure, just to be able to like there's rocks thrown and blasters firing, and I'm like, no, it's time for science.
Yeah, there's big angry things that are trying to make your day unhappy, so I would go for composure, sure.
Okay. Alrighty. And I actually rolled the die. Oh, the Starfleet thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, 2 successes.
2 successes, which gets you a momentum back.
Okay.
So you've got 2 questions, and you can spend that in momentum you gained right now for a third if you wish. Or it could just go into the pool. But you've got 2 questions regardless.
Okay. Do I have sort of any guidelines on what these questions can be?
You may ask any question
of
about the Neanderthals or the troglodytes or the creatures that you're getting that you wish. And you can chain those questions, like you can get the answer for one before you ask the second one.
All right, so since I was kind of going off the scanner, do we have records? Do we know what these things are?
All right, so the scanner would report to you that I'm going to say that you're scanning one of them, and the subject that you were scanning registers as human. But there's some odd fluctuations in their genome.
Sure. I think I'd probably dive into that, since I do have... Well, I guess I didn't take genetics, but have they been... Does it seem they've been warped by this ion storm?
I won't give you that, but what I will say is that their genetic code is under active manipulation. Not necessarily... Manipulation is a bad word. It's actively changing.
I see.
So as you're scanning them, you can see that their gene sequences are in the process of altering.
Oh, that's peculiar.
That's not great.
I would absolutely, over the sound of blasters firing, or sorry, phasers. Gotta get my terms right. Captain, we've sensors register these creatures as human.
And I will give you
ongoing genetic disruptions.
And I will give you one more for free, that these folks are definitely regressing.
Mm-hmm.
So from the genetic makeup you're seeing, they are literally de-evolving.
Become monkey.
I saw this in the movie once.
Become monk.
Eventually, yes.
Become monk.
Because you were taking the time to observe them, you can see that they are all wearing tattered remains of Starfleet science uniforms.
Yikes.
Okay. So one of their guys is injured. One of their guys is unconscious. The three remaining lose their appetite for pressing the attack, and they immediately retreat back into the terrain. Assuming you guys are comfortable with how the combat works now.
Yeah.
All good? Okay, good. Go. All right.
Dr. Hudson.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that I wait for orders. I think I'm immediately over to the unconscious one and trying to further take a look at and figure out what's going on here.
Right.
If there's sort of any identifying, because I've noticed that they've got tattered blue shirts, right? And stuff like that. So if they have any other effects on them, or I guess with medicine, any sort of evidence of what could have led to this, or things they might have gone through. So
okay. I'm gonna give you a challenge to resolve that.
Okay.
And we'll get to what other folks are doing while that's going on, but you're in the process of analyzing the one captive that you have.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll come back to you. While your doctor is looking after the stunned native, or transformed Neanderthal, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I will be subduing the one that was knocked down but not actually unconscious.
He fled with the others.
Oh, okay. Cool. In that case, I am casually following them, not in a threatening manner, but after hearing that one of them is human, I'm wondering and trying to keep track of them because they're clearly our science team. So I don't want to lose them amongst all this stuff. So I don't know if that's, kind of, I don't have binoculars, but tricorder might work, and just kind of standing up and just trying to keep track of where they've gone.
All right. So give me a insight or reason and security.
Okay.
Unless you want to pitch me something else.
Reason and security is pretty good. I really don't think presence or control are really going to do. Actually, can I call an audible here, and rather than tracking them, actually, I realize I would probably lean back on my diplomacy and try and call them back and hey, sorry I zapped one of your friends, but it's okay. You guys started this, but we're good. Sorry, we didn't realize who you were. Kind of thing.
In that case, why don't you give me an insight and insight and command.
Cool. I kind of. It wouldn't be presence.
Sure, presence command.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I only shot you a little. Relax.
You're just sleeping. Would this fall under diplomacy as a focus? I think we're outside of that realm of culture.
For reasons I don't want to get into, I'm going to say no.
Sure. Presence command, 2 dice. I'm going to spend momentum. I think it's 2 momentum to get an additional die.
Correct.
Since we were already kind of capped out. So that, just double checking my count, that puts us at 4 momentum, gang?
I think 3.
3, okay.
Should be 3, yeah.
I spent 1. That's part of my action.
I did not check that one.
I've actually got momentum tokens up on the board.
Okay.
Oh,
I've
just been.
Nice.
Now,
Where?
I gotta move all this stuff around.
Oh,
Wait,
where
where?
you
I see.
saying you
Okay.
got 'em there.
Where are we?
Okay,
look
over
at
here on the
that.
left side.
And
you
just
got
to draw your attention to it, I do have 4 threat already banked as we start.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just as an indication that this is a tense situation that you guys are finding yourselves in.
Cool. Gotcha. That makes sense to me.
I was tracking momentum on my end.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you
So
have
the
momentum
little-
tracked?
The
On the main
momentum are
sheet,
the
the
little
blue
starry
Federation
icons.
symbols under the momentum sign on the overlay I've got there.
Oh, we're at 5?
and now I've just spent 2.
Oh, okay. All right. I had already started
Yep.
clocked that down. So 4 threat and 3 momentum. Cool.
2 successes. I guess technically I should have waited for you to declare how many successes I might need, or the difficulty.
Well, you didn't really know what you were going for.
Hard to tell.
It's fine.
But I will give you this. The folks that attacked you are sort of beyond the point of reason.
Sure.
You make your gestures and try and be calming and soothing as they're running away, and just the way they're reacting to you appears much more animalistic and instinctive
Feral.
rather than higher
Okay.
reasoning. Yeah, they're definitely on the feral side of the
Okay.
thing, or
Yeah.
of the spectrum.
In that case, throwing back to the group after, shouting at them and going, I don't think they're hearing us.
Mhm. Ash, what are you up to? And Ralph?
I am going to see about working on our ship because we took some damage landing.
Okay, you can give me a engineering.
Engineering, science, reason.
Reason engineering to assess the damage of the ship.
Mhm. 1 success.
Easy enough. So the components that are damaged by the ion storm are not uncommon, but they are important. So it would certainly be very likely that you would be able to get the parts that you need from, for example, a Federation science station, and be able to effect repairs which would allow you to get back into orbit.
That's convenient.
Okay.
So it is possible that you would be able to repair the ship. It would take some work. You would have to gather the repair parts and stuff like that. But it's very likely you'd be able to find stuff at a Federation science station to make the repairs.
And the ship currently is not mobile at all.
The ship is currently not mobile at all.
Okay.
Ralph, what are you up to while your doctor is examining the Neanderthal?
Yeah, so Captain Chichalor muses on what Dr. Hudson says and looks over to Commander Jod and says, Commander Jod, I don't think there's time to track these people right now, but perhaps we will after we find their midden or their remaining belongings at the science station. They might have left there. And then he turns to Lieutenant Zickelin and says, Lieutenant, do you think you'll be able to repair that vessel if you get the sufficient parts?
Should be able to, yeah. It's
Excellent.
not that difficult. You just don't have the things.
All right. In order to avoid an additional violent encounter with those poor souls, let us move towards the science station and then reconvene there.
Now, your doctor is in the middle of what will be not lengthy, but it'll be a little bit of
In-depth,
time yet.
perhaps.
Oh, really? Okay, I misunderstood.
So
okay,
I'm just
I would have
making,
said
did
something
you want
slightly
to
different.
cut that short, or did you want to let him finish his, or
No.
take the subject with you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if we can do that.
You
Yeah,
can do
John
that.
was
That's good.
just about to be like, well,
Fantastic.
I will carry this man.
Fantastic. Then in that case, Captain Chichalor says, Dr. Hudson, can you continue your examination once we've found the science station?
Should make it even more capable, Captain.
Excellent.
Further
well,
resources to be
Commander Jod,
had
if you will.
and whatnot. Further evidence of what may have happened to these folks.
Wonderful.
Now, if you give me a reason science roll for the time that you've already invested, I'll let that count towards the success of this challenge.
Okay. Remind me how challenges work?
It's a series of tasks. This will be a linear
Right.
challenge. So
Right.
you need to obtain 3 successes to fully analyze what's going on with your...
Got it.
Can I help at all?
Say that again?
Can I assist?
No, because you were assessing the damage to the ship.
Okay.
Maybe on a further action you might be able to jump in.
You can spend all the momentum if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll grab myself a bonus die.
Sure.
Which I think one of my talents. Is that cautious medicine?
Oh, you know what?
It lets you re-roll cautious.
Reroll. Okay. When you attempt a task with that discipline and buy one or more, you can reroll. Okay, so yeah, I will buy a die. So I'll be rolling 3.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't think I have any focuses that apply here. I don't think I need to be like composed at this point. It's more just
field medicine, I think, would apply here.
Yeah. That's a talent that just makes me not have further difficulty.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Not a focus.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, surgery, botany, emergency medicine, infectious disease. Yeah, I don't think I have any focuses that apply.
No.
Emergency medicine?
He's not trying to heal a wound or save a life.
Right. No, that's fine. I mean, it just changes the critical. So, cool. So, rolling 3 dice.
Cool. 2 successes. All right.
And I can re-roll 1.
And you can re-roll.
Excellent. Re-roll it.
Just gonna do a regular d20.
Yep.
The goal of under 15.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
So 3
successes.
Nice.
So you get those 2 momentum back.
Excellent.
You can spend them on obtain information, or lower the difficulty moving forward for the second and third tasks in the sequence.
Yeah, I think I'd lower the difficulty. How does that?
All right. So we'll take the 2 momentum, and the difficulty, instead of being 3, which you obtained, is now 2.
Cool.
Okay. So we'll mark off that you've got 1 task complete in your analysis, and we can move on.
Excellent.
All right.
And we're at momentum 1, correct?
Momentum 2, because you earned 2 back. Oh no, but you spent that right away. Yeah.
I spent 2 to do it.
Yep.
So
you'd be at 1. Okay. So it's obvious that the march to the Science Outpost is no simple stroll. The journey covers several kilometers, and the terrain between you and your goal is rough and rocky, with strange and abundant flora blocking your path. As you're making your way towards the outpost, you guys come to a deep but narrow ravine on the ground. On the far side of the ravine is a long piece of fallen wood that you might be able to use, like a fallen tree that you might be able to place across the ravine to help people get across. But for now, the ravine is blocking your advancement towards the outpost. If somebody wanted to try and cross the ravine alone, it would be a fitness and security task of a difficulty 4.
Oh, wow.
thanks.
So you have to roll.
You need
4
spare
successes.
momentum or some criticals.
Or
You need
determination.
Or
Your
determination.
value applies.
So how much
Or-
determination do we have?
Or
You start
give
with
me
1.
threat.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, that's right.
There's also the option, in most cases, there's going to be an option that's built into the rules that you can succeed at a cost. So that means whatever happens, you'll be able to succeed, but it may mean that you have a penalty moving forward. So maybe somebody makes the attempt and they aren't successful, but they succeed at a cost, but that means that they're now injured.
I was just saying. Okay.
And will have all their difficulties increased by 1 moving forward or something like that until they're healed.
Okay, and injuries are separate from stress then?
Injuries are separate from stress.
Because I just noticed that on the character sheet that shows that they're separate.
Yes.
So now, just out of curiosity, would failing at a cost potentially be stress, or is that usually only used in combat?
Stress is generally... I would use stress. Like, for example, if you guys had failed the landing, everybody would have some stress marked off.
Okay.
So it could be stress, or depending on complications, it might actually be an injury. So
Gotcha.
if you're succeeding at a cost but roll a complication, it will be an injury, or it just will be stress taken off.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Question for you, Craig.
So how do you
Can-
want to approach this?
Anyone
Here.
assist me?
I can definitely give you a boost and try and help
Because
you
yeah,
across.
I have 9 fitness, 4 security. I have a value that fits here. Dangers at the forefront of knowledge.
That's
I can spend my determination. I have a focus in botany when it comes to like trying to work with the plant life.
But I mean, short of the botany, like I'm on board and can definitely try and help.
The determination makes sense. Danger is the forefront of discovery. I don't know that botany would apply to getting across the ravine.
Yeah, I was talking about like using the plants.
Oh, like getting a vine or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. I'll go for that.
Okay. So how many?
Succeed at the cost. It's a toxic plant. Whoops.
It's fine. We have a medical doctor.
I think we have a doctor.
Greg, I have a question for you,
Sure.
which is, do we all have to attempt the crossing individually?
Well, once one person is across, they would be able to move the wood into place, which would make it easier for everyone to follow.
To give you guys the bridge.
I see.
So the first time coming across, unless you guys all want to just scramble up and
gotcha. Okay, cool. That's what I was
down
trying
the
to
torpedoes
confirm.
full speed ahead. You can all give it a
Thank
try
you.
if you want. But
All right. I think I was on the same page as Ralph. I thought there's a balance beam, cross it was the situation, but no, someone's
There's a
making a balance beam is the
beam
situation.
on the other side. Yeah.
Cool.
Got
Okay,
it.
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to try for this. So
Okay.
by default, I'm rolling 3.
Okay.
If
So
I
you
spend a determination, is that how that works?
If you spend a determination, it's 2. Is it 2 determination for a die, or is it 1?
No, I think it's 1 determination, and you get a critical
It's-
automatic.
Okay.
2,
If that is the case, I will give that back to you because I took 2 before. So you can spend determination to get 1 die. Oh, right. The second die is 2. That's all coming back to me now.
Yeah, if you succeed on the action, you get 2 additional successes.
Oh, right. It counts. You get a free crit if you get.
Yes, you get a free crit on the second die if you succeed.
It doesn't change your dice pool.
That's
Oh,
right.
it doesn't?
exactly.
Okay. So I'm still only rolling 2 then?
Yeah, it's much better than
Yep.
having extra dice.
Well,
because you automatically get the
I can
dice.
assist.
You can
potentially.
spend a momentum to get an extra die, so that'll give you 3.
Do
Okay,
we have enough momentum for that?
Do we have
Yeah,
one?
you got 2
Yeah.
right now in the pool.
We only have 1.
There's
No,
one.
because I took 2 for your die that you bought, that somebody bought, but it was only 1 for 1 die. I shouldn't have taken 2.
It's
So I put
one.
one
It's
back.
1 per die.
For the
Momentum
first
is 1 per die?
Yeah,
For the first one.
first added. There's a
Okay.
cumulative additional.
We
cost
okay.
should
dice.
be at 3 then. We've bought dice twice.
Okay, well, I will spend 1, so that gives me 3 dice.
Sure.
I spend my determination so that if I succeed, I get a crit automatically.
In addition to whatever your dice pool is.
Yep.
And you were going to assist?
Yeah, I was actually thinking of like Jod kind of sizing up. Hang on, I'm gonna move the character sheet because I'm so getting everybody's names figured out.
Varilla?
Yeah, Varilla, and just sizing her up and doing. Well, I mean, Ash will understand a
Couple
fastball
hands
special.
and- yeah.
Yeah, fastball special kind of, and give a like long leap over the ravine. With that,
Okay. I'll go for that.
would that also be fitness and security?
To toss?
Yeah, I'll go for that. Fitness and security as well.
Okay,
Makes
I'm
sense to
rolling 2. Would my focus of team dynamics apply?
Sure, you're absolutely. You are helping a teammate achieve a task. So yes.
I am on board with this. Heave ho!
Okay. 3
There we go,
successes
there's
from
3.
3. If you get 1 with your determination, you're
We
going to have
succeed.
a pile
6.
of momentum in the pool.
Okay, let's go for it.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
all
Gotta
So
right.
do some
momentum
math
is
here.
yes.
So momentum is yes. You guys are maxed on momentum now.
Hell yeah.
Well, which Craig,
How much
I
would we
wanted
actually
to,
be at?
Hmm?
How much would we actually be at? Because we have to like spend some immediately.
Yeah, you have the option to spend some immediately. So that's 3. It's a difficulty 4 task, so you've got 2 back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that puts you at 5.
All right.
Okay.
So we had been at
it's
3.
I'm trying to work through the system in my head to make this make sense.
Yeah.
So Ash's pool ended up with 3 successes.
Mhm.
We had a determination, which means she'd have 5 successes. Right?
Yes, you're right.
And then Drew's assist brought it up to 8.
Yes.
Yes.
We needed
The
4.
difficulty was 4.
This is how many fingers? So difficulty is 4, so we go back down to 4
Right.
bonus momentum, right?
Well, you had 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Hmm?
So we have 1 bonus momentum.
Beyond
Right.
max.
The
Three
roll earned 4 momentum.
Mhm.
Right. So 3 of those go back in the pool, and you've got 1 bonus one that you can spend immediately or lose it.
So
So you can use that momentum to, for example, reduce the difficulty of getting across the beam.
Further question.
Sure.
What is the cap on momentum? 5 or 6?
5.
Because it's 6 on our sheets.
It's
Right,
6 on
that's
our
what I was
sheet.
about to ask.
I stand corrected.
Okay.
Again, I may be a little rusty on the rules, so
All
Okay,
good.
so we're full then.
okay, you guys are full
Okay, good.
with 6.
Yeah, full with 6, no spare.
However, you can still
Mhm.
spend momentum as part of this action because you earned a pile. And I would allow you to spend 2 to make the difficulty for anyone crossing on the board easy.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we're
So-
reducing it by 2.
So you're
So
reducing
we're
it
at
to 2, so your
4
pool is
total.
now at 4.
Cool.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
I just noticed something.
Um,
I think when you assist, you don't generate momentum for someone. You just give them a die if you succeed on your roll.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did I
I
misunderstand
am
that?
a little
Flipper?
rusty, as I said.
Oh, that's quite all right.
Yeah,
Um,
because that's what happens with the computer. That it gives you a die
Well, wait, with
to
the
your dice
computer?
pool. Yeah. So when you assist, you have to roll your dice pool
Mm-hmm.
of whatever relevant attribute. If you succeed, then someone gains a die on their pool.
Oh. I was just trying to figure out where you're talking about the computer coming from.
Oh,
Well-
because when your computer assists you, you gain a die, and it assists you using its dice pool of whatever relevant.
so when the ship
attributes it
assists
has.
you, for example.
Yeah, when the
Oh,
ship
when the
ship
assists you.
assists.
Ship computer. Sorry. That's what I meant. The computer. Right.
Well,
let's Star Trek.
Let's dig into that later.
Okay, sounds good. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I need you to do a fitness and security task or control science to get the beam across successfully, but your difficulty
Okay.
is reduced.
Yeah, I'll do control science.
Go for it.
It's normal 2 die.
No
1
problem.
success.
Heck yes.
All right.
And
that
that's a crit.
what's that?
I rolled a 2. Oh wait, no. That's only if it has
Focus.
I mean, does botany apply to moving the beam?
Botany would apply, so I would call that a crit.
Okay.
That's great.
So
So
that
2
gets you.
successes.
It was a difficulty 3, reduced to difficulty 2, but because you got a crit, you got 2 successes.
Mhm. Perfect.
So you made the threshold. That gets you guys a beam across. It's now control security to walk across with a difficulty 1 for each remaining character to bounce across
Sweet.
the ravine. Success at a cost rule applies, but if anyone exceeds the threshold of 1, you can give a bonus momentum to whoever's following you to assist them.
That sounds good.
Let the good doctor go last.
Yeah, that's true. Is because I imagine that we still have our fallen science officer with us. Is that adding a complication to us crossing? Or is the unconscious body just a additional weight?
For whoever is carrying that body, I will increase the threat range
Okay.
Cool.
of complications.
I'll go ahead and take that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I go ahead.
So crossing the beam while carrying the body will increase your threat range by 2.
So I'm at a complication range of 3 then?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm rolling fitness, security. I don't have any bonus dice. I'm not going to take any from momentum. And
Difficulty is 1.
difficulty is 1. I should be able to do this. I can do this.
No problem.
You can
And
pass
now
it
you
along.
can give that bonus momentum to whoever follows you.
Yep.
Okay.
Aye.
Go ahead, Chris.
I will spin this thing.
Fitness
Yeah,
and
do it.
security with a bonus dice.
Yeah.
Bonus
I'll
dice.
have 3 die. And here we go.
What's your pool?
Okay.
That was
Wow.
good roll.
Yeah.
So,
So
that puts you
we
back.
all watch with bated breath as
was
he
looking for a 10.
cartwheels across.
I was looking for a 10 as my number, so
So
it could have been
that
bad.
gives you difficulty was 1, so that gives you 2 momentum back, plus a free 1 to whoever's following you, which I believe is our captain.
Indeed. Captain goes last, making sure the crew is safe. The captain will roll fitness plus security.
+1.
+1. Fantastic. All right. You mean +1 die, right?
+1 die, yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. Let's choose fitness and security.
Oh, I just seen out there's a button for focus used. That's so much more convenient.
Ooh, that was a 20.
Oh no.
But you got 1 success.
I did.
And a complication.
So you have the option to spend 2 momentum to ignore a complication.
Great. Yes.
If you wish.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Absolutely, especially right now.
All right. So everybody gets across the ravine, and you guys continue on towards the station.
And that
Captain
might be
like
where we
almost
have to,
slips at the last step and
and uses his momentum to fall forward.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Extended task. Study local flora. I see it. Great.
So let
Exactly
me
the thing
explain.
I want.
Between the crew and the science station are fields of local visitation. However, as you're going through, Ash, you have a focus in botany. You recognize that some of these plants...
So does Doctor.
Both of you. So you both recognize that some of these plants may actually be toxic. So while you guys are moving through the flora and fauna, you're going to try and pick a safe path that doesn't take you through toxic flora. This will be an extended task. Everyone can contribute.
Excellent.
So some of the flora is harmless, while others give off poisonous spores. The crew can evaluate plants, attempting to determine which plants are safe and which are toxic. So as the crew is keeping a decent pace, you're only going to get 3 rolls to finish this. All right. So you need to. The work track is 10. The magnitude is 3. Difficulty is 2.
Cool. And
okay.
So
just before we get too involved, Craig, I'm going to point out the clock.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to get you guys to the station before we wrap up. Anyway. All right.
okay. So
what do we roll for this?
So you can roll a few different things. I would say reason and science if you want to do a biological analysis, or presence in medicine to use your medical knowledge to determine toxicity, control security for a basic vigilance and survival skills. However, if anyone repeats the same set of skills that anyone else has used, the difficulty is increased by 1.
Interesting.
Okay.
Is difficulty resistance?
Difficulty is the number of successes needed, I believe.
Yeah. The difficulty is the number of successes you need to score against the work track. Resistance would reduce your number of successes. It's like armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is there not a resistance?
It's not there's no resistance on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the work track. Sorry, this is not clicking for me.
So the work track is like the health.
Okay.
And you can think of the magnitude as like death saves in D&D terms. So if you fill up the work track, you're automatically rolling death saves for this thing against the magnitude. 3 and you succeed the whole thing. But if you also score crits and things like that, you can do a breakthrough regardless, which is going to tick off the magnitude. And every time you reduce the magnitude, it reduces the difficulty by 1. So let's walk through it. Who wants to go first?
I will roll some dice, and you can tell me how well we do. How about that? I'll have to read through this in the book, I think.
May I roll?
And I have a handout on.
I'm reading it. It's just at this point in the session, my brain's a little fried. So
sure. So it's easiest to work through it. So you want to go first, Chris?
Sure.
Reason, science, or presence,
medicine,
Ash
has to go first.
Hang on, because I think Ash may have something.
I have 11 reason, 5 science. I'll be rolling against a 16.
You need 3 successes. No one can repeat the same set of skills. And so all of you can contribute, but you need 3 successes, and you only get 3 rolls.
So 3 total rolls among the crew.
Right. Yeah. To avoid the impact of poisonous plants.
Gotcha. Cool.
So that's what I would be rolling ideally.
Okay.
Sure. I can do so. Can you define presence versus insight for me?
presence in medicine would be using your knowledge, using knowledge that you've already acquired to sort things into categories, for example.
So what is an example of it? Because that, in my head, the word insight sounds more like that thing. So in this case, what would an insight in
looking at
medicine
something
be?
that's unknown and discovering new things about it.
Okay. Well, because we've already recognized that these are toxic, it's more
that there are toxic plants
your,
in the mix.
Your knowledge. Okay. Yeah, I can roll presence and medicine at a 14, so it should be pretty doable for sure.
Okay.
I was going to suggest that I roll presence and command to keep the chain together and appropriately applying their abilities so that we can all avoid the plants.
That could work, sure.
I'm just here to carry the body.
Sounds good.
But
I'm going to tap my determination with the nothing better than practical experience tag.
Perfect. I'll go for that.
Good. We have just a regular complication range of 1, right?
Yep.
I'm going to buy an extra die as well.
Sure.
Just 1 momentum for the first one, right?
1 momentum for the first one.
Okay. So 3 dice and focus of botany. So this should be a very good roll.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very good roll.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Plus,
right. So now
2
you're going to roll
plus 2 for the determination, right?
plus 2 for the determination. That's right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a lot's going to happen here.
Cool.
First of all, I want you to roll some challenge dice. There's a section on your character sheet for challenge dice.
It's under task roll.
Okay.
Yep, and you're going to put a 2 in there and roll
Okay.
that. Unless you want to spend some of this momentum you just gained to get additional dies on your challenge roll.
What? Can you explain why I'm rolling challenge die?
Because if you get more than 5 in your challenge die, this is like the damage you're doing against the work track. If you get more than 5, you win a breakthrough.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if everyone's okay with it, I'll spend a momentum.
Heck yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Right, so then you
So
can
I'm
roll
rolling 3.
Yep, you can roll 3. 1 and an effect. So that, let me mark that off. So the work done, that's going to be 3, but no breakthrough. Okay. Who's next?
I'll go next.
Yep.
The reason and science, the botany focus.
Oh, you know what, Chris? Actually, yeah, because that would just put an extra momentum back in. Okay, never mind. Go ahead, Ash.
And I'll take 1 momentum. Give me 3 dice.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I move it? I can't move it, I don't think.
Oh, Craig has been handling the momentum.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm rolling 3 with the focus.
3 successes.
Ooh, yeah.
Difficulty was 2. So you have 1 momentum. You can get an extra challenge dice if you want.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
So how many challenge dice am I rolling?
1, 2, 3.
3?
Yep.
2, 0, 2.
Wow.
4. All right. So that's 7 done on the work track. All right. Last roll.
Cap.
Cool. All right. Presence first command. And my value of the chain of command depends on every link. I think might apply to apply
Absolutely.
determination. Great. So I'm going to do that. And if we have momentum, I would buy an extra die.
Go for it.
Cool. Alrighty. My team dynamics focus, I imagine, applies.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And I will roll 3 dice. Got that right. Yep.
1, 2, 3.
5.
Okay. So you got an extra die on your challenge dice. So go ahead and roll
Right.
challenge dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Roll 4 challenge dice. And actually, Chris, you can give me another challenge dice as well.
Cool.
3. Okay. That fills up the work track. And 2 breakthroughs.
Fantastic.
So weren't able to complete the work track.
Mm-hmm.
But you knocked off 2 of the work track. You weren't able to complete all of the magnitude, but you were cut that down to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take 3 stress off of everyone.
Okay.
Because you weren't able to completely map a clear path through the poisonous foliage.
Gotcha.
All right. So you guys arrive at the science station with 3 stress.
Okay.
Three more stress.
Going to
I'm
have
right
to
there
read
with you,
through these
Chris.
mechanics because I feel like we just did very well at these rolls. Is that not true? Is this just a very hard task, or?
This was a moderately hard task. The issue was that it was timed. That you only got 3 rolls on it. That made it much more. That made it much more difficult. Okay.
Yeah, and bear in mind, if I understand the extended tasks, this is a variable. It's not a pass fail with this. It's how well you did. So we did pretty well with the time allotted. So we only got 3 stress versus what could have been much worse.
You guys could have arrived at the science station with 9 stress, exhausted, possibly some of you injured, depending on how well you guys did. So you did pretty good at the task.
Okay. All right.
So you had a relatively minor effect of 3 stress.
Having no context for
I don't know
how this is going. I was like, I think we did okay.
Yep.
So the extended task itself wasn't difficult, but the time requirement made it much higher.
Yeah. And the challenge dice, that's the D6s that you talked about, right?
Yes.
Because I can't see what those rolls were, so... And then there's the symbol that popped up, and I just have no idea what
those are the effects.
on.
I don't understand. It's like rolling 1 die, but then it gives you 3 numbers.
Yeah, I'm very curious about the last one from Chris, so I'm not sure what happened there.
Right, I think Chris just re-rolled it again without
I changed the number.
Yeah, because it even says re-rolling. It says rolling 1 dice. But
could be an issue with the character sheet or something.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Or roll 27 if it... I just used the first one anyway, so okay. And I shouldn't have given it 2 there either. But.
I mean, earlier when I rolled 3, it only gave me 2 answers.
It gave you 0 as well.
Or when...
So there could be something funky going on with the character sheet.
I see.
Yeah, when Chris rolled 3, it only gave 2 answers.
Regardless, you guys have arrived at the research station. It looks damaged. You can see there's... looks like there's been some impacts and some blaster fire or some phaser fire against the outside. So it looks like stuff has been happening here. And I guess that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
Indeed.
Right, I have stuff to do. Hang on. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our little intro into the Star Trek adventures. You are more than welcome to join us on Discord at into.space. It's an awesome community. We really love it. They're great people. You can support us on Patreon at staylucky.club. We really appreciate your support. It helps us do things like pay for art and update equipment and get better microphones and that kind of stuff.
I hear we might have sketches done for the page stuff.
I'm looking forward to it.
So really?
Yeah. I haven't seen anything yet, but I've heard.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our little intro into Star Trek Adventures. We'll finish off this little warm-up next time and then get into the meat and potatoes of the little mini-series.
Get me back on my ship, Craig!
Space meat and space potatoes.
Space meat and space potatoes, that's right. And I guess we'll see you all next week, so thank you very much.
See you next week for more bold action.